How we doing? Starting the day off with little Jack White here. Some of his newer stuff, at least I think it was new. The video I saw had the shorter blue tinted hair. Good stuff. I like this. I've heard a lot of this album. Did I say the name? Love is Selfish. And I've heard several tracks off this song and off this record, if that's what they call them anymore. And I would definitely say this is one of my favorite songs on there. It's probably one of the more simple, so I don't know what that says about me and my state of mind lately, but nonetheless, I'm really digging this. And I'll work real hard to make you understand. I would encourage you to check it out. It's good. Some great guitar work on that record too. Some of it's got a lot of I don't know, stuff I don't care for, but I guess you could say that about a lot of artists, certain things, but I definitely, it's a lot more interesting than a lot of other stuff that's I've been hearing come out lately, so definitely worth a listen to. And great cut right there, Love is Selfish by Jack White. So, how's your week been? Mine's been mixed, but before we get into all that, let's start these out like I started them off. I've got my drink here. For those of you who may be totally new to this, I try to start each of these amputee cast videos out with a toast, what I call a positive affirmation drink. So if you want to drink, have a drink with me. Grab something of your choice, whether it be Mountain Dew, orange soda, water, tea, you name it, lemonade. Have a drink with me. I promise it has spiritual powers and you will feel better about the world and life in general. So I'll wait for you to grab that for a minute. I'm drinking out of a Life Straw. I think I've done this once before in these videos. This filters out impurities in the water and stuff. This building that I'm living in right now is, I don't know, 100 years old, and I don't know what's in the plumbing here. I'm gonna guess there's a good chance there's lead. So when I drink water, I don't like to buy bottled water if I don't have to, so I use this a lot to filter the water. I still need to get myself a either a pitcher filter or one for the faucet though, because I'm cooking still with the tap water here, and like I said, Lord knows what's in it. So, and I make a lot of pasta and a lot of rice throughout the week. Those are some of my staples. So, how this works is on the count of 3, we'll do the toast to attitude is everything. That's my motto. I believe that your outlook, your attitude, if you will, on life on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis is going to help change your world and make everything more positive in your life. There are lots of bad things that can happen to you in this world, obviously, and sometimes they do. There are lots of bad situations and people, but your outlook, your life, and your perception can help control how bad those things are for you. If you let these other quote unquote bad experiences, bad people, things dictate your life and the way you look at things, that you're giving up the power that you're giving them power that is really yours, because only you and your mind can control your happiness. So on the count of 3, I guess I won't be drinking as much as I'm sucking, since this is a straw type of deal, but 1, 2, 3, attitude is everything. that. I went from one of the best, at least in this state, city water, Baton Rouge, which what I read really had great water, to probably one of the cities, New Orleans, where it's even just the regular city water here, they've had issues with when they've done random tests. It's subpar at best. But what do you expect in a town that is below sea level? What do you think the water table is going to be like? It's Lord, I don't even know what they do exactly to treat the water here, but with how things flood and stuff so much, I could see very easily how even your clean water supplies could get contaminated easily. It would just be really hard to stop cross contamination and stuff at times. There's a lot of runoff, there's a lot of flooding here, and we're surrounded by big bodies of water all over, and the ocean right at the back door of the Gulf. So it's a perfect environment for not such great water quality. So, I don't know how your week has been. I hope good. Mine has been, as I said, mixed earlier. The good, still continuing to lose weight. The diet is definitely working. I am eating a lot of carbs, which they say is a bad thing, but I've been doing more and more research on starches and carbs. And it's looking like they're not as evil as maybe a lot of people make them out to be. Now, of course, you don't want to go nuts and eat too many, especially of your processed breads and processed foods and breads, chips, stuff like that. But I think some of your like sweet potatoes, brown rice, wheat pasta, those sorts of things definitely, I think, have some good qualities. You don't want to overdo too much of anything. I've been eating a lot of Chinese food. I actually kept some chopsticks from some restaurants I've been to. I'm starting to actually use those at home some. I'm trying to get to a more and more simple type of existence and become more and more of a minimalist. Not that I haven't been for a big chunk of these last at least 15 years of my life, but I find myself gravitating towards that even more and more. Who knows, maybe instead of a folding futon like I have, I'll have one of those ones that's on the floor before too long, and my actual couch will be one of those sitting type deals with or some pillows or something. Who knows? Definitely getting more and more minimal on that and simple. I think a lot of people would trip out living in a small apartment like this. It's not as small. When I stayed in Sarasota, I had a place I think that was a little smaller. But this is pretty small. But I like it. It's simple, it's easy to keep clean. And it meets my needs. I'm not home a whole lot anyway. The bad, at least for me, it's been a challenging week. As far as work goes, it's really hot out there. Not literally, but what you feel like are a lot of doors slammed in your face in this business when you're trying to get out and get the name, your face, and your company's name and brand out there into a lot of places where you're not known very well, or where a competitor who will remain unnamed has said a lot of bad things about you because they've got a axe to grind because they're former employees. So I'm dealing with a couple of those issues, doing the best I can on that. Those are things you can't really control. You just got to be you and take care of what you can control. I have a mentor in my life that's been reminding me of that lately, and I do appreciate them trying to help me keep focused on the things that you can control. And I think that's kind of what I'll make this talk about, is controlling what you can. And that's what the whole attitude is everything philosophy is. One moment, I'm gonna enjoy a little bit more of this city water. Oh, before I get too far, man, I bought a bicycle. I've only ridden it a couple times. It is a lean, sleek machine. I'll see if I can't put a picture of it up on my Active Amputee website, so that if you want to take a look at it. I know I've got this video kind of crossing over some different on YouTube and there and a couple other places. And then I even see where some other countries and places have taken my videos and posted them up on some of their blogs, which I'm not saying I'm special or anything because of that. I think that happens a lot with videos from YouTube. They get borrowed by other people who are just trying to, what's the word for it? Aggregate videos on certain subject matter, so you could put in something about amputee, and lo and behold, it would be no big surprise for maybe one or two of my videos to pop up in a site that's in England or China or wherever. But anyways, the bike is cool. I've only taken it out. I've been wanting to get one forever in a town like New Orleans. Definitely not a requirement, but very big help. There's the roads here are pretty beaten up, which makes them bad for walking. Can make them bad for biking also, but they've got some bike lane streets here. I like a lot of big cities, so there are some good places to get around. And if you're going to go anywhere, at least in my case, that's more than half a mile of a walk when the weather's like this and it's hot outside, without turning into a total sweaty mess, which I probably do even if I bike, but a little bit less. Bicycle is definitely the way to go. It's too crazy to drive around here. It's just to go a short distance. There's too much traffic, one-way streets, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm a new guy in town still, so it's a great way for me to explore the neighborhood. From what I understand, there's a pretty awesome park just down the street, back behind me here, about a mile, that I saw on a map, but I have not, and I think I've even heard about from a couple people, but I've never been over there, so who knows, maybe I'll take a ride out there in the next day or two, those sort of things. Go have coffee somewhere in the morning, So I paid a little bit more than I wanted to, but it's a very nice machine. It's very simple. There's no gears that are going to get messed up. The ratio of gearing I have on it seems to be pretty good. It's just like we were talking about me being more minimal. Well, it's a very minimal bike. It's got one gear. There's no a lot of geared bikes, you have shifter and all that, and which are great because you got options to shift gears and all that, but they tend to break down and have mechanical issues easier than something that's a single geared machine. That's how fixed gears, besides being hip, have kind of gained their popularity over many years now, and why bike couriers use them and that sort of thing, because they don't break down. There's less friction going on and less things to go wrong, less parts, less to break down. In all honesty, that's kind of how I like my prosthetics too. You see a lot of people who get every bell and whistle and they want the latest, greatest technology. I'm all for technology, but I like a real basic prosthesis that I can beat the hell out of, literally, and it's still gonna work when I use it. I don't have to worry about getting it wet or something like that. It's gonna hold up because there's, once again, not much that can go wrong because I don't have any electronics or any of that kind of stuff that I don't feel like I really need. So that's how I like my vehicles. I mean, I could keep going on forever. I try to get, if you could still get a car with manual roll down windows and they were cheaper, or who knows, you probably can, but you know, I've got the backup camera now in my car, and it's got the Bluetooth finally, this latest one I bought. But I would say compared to a lot of vehicles, it's still pretty low tech. It's a truck, you know, so keeping it simple. One thing I think is a good idea. So I got off on the tangent about bike and simplicity, but where was I going with that? We were talking about your controlling the things that you can in your life. And that has a lot to do with some of exactly where I was going with some of this. That's why I like my things around me simple. There's less complication, less things to clutter. And that's just what works for me. I understand everybody else has their own environments that they prefer. Some people want to have, I don't even have a TV right now. I've got a stereo. I watch videos on my phone or on a tablet right now. In fact, Better Call Saul is coming on today. I think I should be able to see the latest episode of that when I choose, on demand later. But getting back to this, this idea of controlling what you can spend a whole lot of time worrying about what the other guy does. I was talking about a disgruntled employee that went off and started working for somebody else, that someone I've never even met in my life before, that is actually, well, I won't get into it, but he was pretty close to some of the people in the company, and I guess that may be even more why things are like they are. And he's very hurt, and he's going around saying a lot of bad things about my company, a lot of untrue things. That's just not what I would do. That's not, in my mind, a good way to treat other people. I get it if you're hurt by somebody, and I'm not going to say I haven't been there before in certain situations in my life, but it really is a waste of energy at the end of the day. It makes you look petty, not pity. Maybe it makes people have pity, but it makes you look petty. I think it's something that, well, just don't want to get off on it. It's just not, I think, a good way to. It means you're spending energy and time thinking about another entity that you don't have any control of, or that you're not even involved with anymore. And that, no, it's probably not a good way to spend your energy. You should be more concerned of what things you have control. How am I doing when I meet people? How does my company treat patients? How does my service and the things I do for my patients, that I can control. People I meet and how I decide to treat them, whether they be strangers or medical professionals or patients, that is what I can control in my life. So getting all hung up and worried about the other externals, it really is beyond anything that I have control of. So it's not a good idea to spend a lot of energy and time concerned about it. And it's a challenge when things aren't going your way, and you can go, well, man, if this wasn't like this or that wasn't like that, and blame those for the reason why things aren't going your way. That can get, and some of those things may actually be part of the reason why things aren't going your way, but still, nonetheless, unless you can change those things because they're controlled by somebody else, you can maybe have a talk with that person. Let's say I have a coworker and he's terrible at what he does, but I have to rely on him to fill out paperwork for me or help somebody or whatever the case may be. Well, instead of me complaining about that person all the time or going, man, I wish, the only thing I can really do is just talk to them about that. And even then, that may not have effect, but at least they know there's a concern that you have. And of course, you want to talk to anybody about any issues you have in a polite and civil manner. You don't want to go at them in attack mode, because that's not going to get anything done from people. You're not going to get the results you want from somebody by barking orders at them or telling them what to do. You can tell them why it might be a good reason to do this, or have you ever thought about this, or what do they think the best way is to do this, something. And then maybe there's something you can do also to change how you interact with them, how you if I'll break this down real easy to a sports analogy. If I'm handing the ball off to another player, well, is my technique good when I'm handing the ball? Are the laces facing the right way? Am I sticking it in the right spot when I give the ball to them? Am I out of the way enough? So, because if they got to cut this direction or that direction, you know what I mean? So, and that's a very simple analogy, but when you're working with someone and it's a team thing, you got to look at how you do your part, which you're the cog in the machine. You got to make sure your cog is working as good as it can, as well as pointing fingers at the other parts of the machinery. So you got to always think about what you're doing and how maybe you can improve things yourself. Oh, I see we're well over 20 minutes in this video. So I know I've been going on, and I know I'm kind of nibbling around the edges of what I'm saying about this subject, because I do have a lot more to say about it, and I do think I'm going to go on more about it at a later time. But my big message would be control what you can. And like I said, I have a mentor that's been telling me that, and I've had other people telling me the same thing. So it's kind of like I'm getting the message from several directions, and that's the right message. You can spend so much of your time worried about everything else instead of what you control. So that's what I would say it would be my takeaway for today. I care about every one of you. I appreciate every one of you for watching. If you ever have any questions or want to talk about amputee things or anything else in general, even if you're on the other side of the world or you're on the other side of the state, reach out to me. Maybe you're a few hundred miles away. Maybe we meet up somewhere in the middle for coffee one day. You never know. That's what's great about this technology. It keeps us all connected. Maybe you want to do a video call. Maybe you want to just send me an email. All that contact information will be included on whichever format you're watching this. I'm easy to find. All you gotta do is look me up. Or like I said, if you're watching this video, there's probably information under it, around it, somewhere on the page on how to get hold of me. I don't do the whole like my all that. If you want to like some of my stuff, that's great. If you ever want to talk, like I said, or have questions or ideas, reach out to me. I would love to hear from you. Hope everyone is having a great week, and God bless.